Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Grow Me Co's free newsletter for this week, the 8th of April. And for all of you that are new to the Grow Me Co, welcome. It's great to have you here. This is the home of, what I do. I'm a trader and investor. Been doing it for 20 years, and little tips and tricks here for those of you that just want to get some free stuff. Happy to do so. If you want to dive into the world of trading, then dive into the course that I've got available there. Now, I want to jump in to start this week off with talking about what happened, which was the Trump tariffs. Now, Bitcoin, look, it had a bit of a wild one, all right? I'll take you through a couple of bits here, and then we'll loop back around and I'll tie it all together for you. Of course, this was the day, the 2nd of April was the day that the tariffs came out. And last week, if you were here for last week's video that I did, I spoke about the fact that, if we were to break up through the high of this weekly candle here, it was 88,740, we would have an uptrend on the weekly time frame. And that was because we'd broken the low of this and we had a little higher low potentially available. We got so close, 88,560 before, of course, tanking. Now, when did that actually happen? I remember because I was I'd woken up. First thing I did, I checked the market. Not first thing I did, but I checked the market, and it was before 7 o'clock. Anyway, it was this 6 o'clock candle right here, and we were up around sort of 87.8. I was like, oh my gosh, we've had some momentum. I'd gone into sleep with the momentum, this pullback, pushing on, and I'm like, sweet. This had really kicked on very, very well, and then Donald Trump came out and talked about the tariff situation, which sent markets into turmoil all over the globe. Traditional markets or legacy markets also being absolutely spanked on the backside. The move that we saw subsequently on Bitcoin was from here to here, about 7% of a move. And it didn't stop there, of course. We continued to sell off. But at one stage, I also did mention that Bitcoin had held pretty well. I want to show you something here. If I jump up and show you, oops, wrong one, jump here and show you the ES, which is the ES is the S&P 500 mini contract. This candle here is the 4th of April. That candle there is a 6% or just about 6% decline of the S&P 500. Literally trillions wiped out very, very quickly off the back of that tariff information the day before, I believe it was. 2 days before, sorry. Here was the gap down when that occurred. Now we saw, as I say, the S&P down 6%, which is a huge move for the S&P. That was the 4th of April. The 4th of April for Bitcoin, up 0.8%. If only it held. Of course, Bitcoin then having a weekend and on Sunday closing down 6%. So a big move was still felt in crypto, but big moves across the entire market. If I come now and have a look at my weekly chart here on Bitcoin, what you'll notice is that there is a lower high right here and now a lower low down here. It is officially in a weekly downtrend for Bitcoin. However, let me go and have a look at this time frame, the monthly time frame, which is a macro, a big picture. The macro, the big picture, the monthly trend here. For those of you who are very new to the concept of reading charts, technical analysis, and trading the markets, we've got a textbook uptrend. We've got a higher high and higher low. So an uptrend is higher highs and higher lows. A downtrend is lower highs and lower lows. Higher low, higher high. We're pulling back. And what we're seeing currently, in my opinion, and what the chart's telling me, is that we're seeing a point at which Bitcoin's going, where is the new higher low going to be? And then hopefully we can step out again and set ourselves higher highs to go with the higher low. Now we saw this level of 74,000, 74 to 72, around that level. It was a big level for Bitcoin for a long time. We saw Bitcoin push up into March of 2024, and then subsequently a 6-month decline back into this cradle zone. Now, if you're new again, the cradle zone is this area in and around the 10 and 20 period moving averages, which is where I trade from, which is where one of my trading strategies is pretty much completely completely created from. I've been trading this way for over 20 years, and look, it works. You can see it pulls back into the moving average zone, cradle zone, moves away, pull back in. This is a pullback into the equilibrium point, in my opinion. Now, I am invested heavily. I don't have outside capital ready to put in. I was buying back in August of 2023, so I'm fine. But this would be an area for which I would be very happy to be buying, and it is an area, as a trader, I am looking for opportunities and entries to get long on Bitcoin. That's right. You heard me correctly. I said long because the monthly is very, very strong. Now, not only has it come back and retested this 70,000 in the middle, fantastic convergence. If that doesn't mean anything to you, well, that's up to you to learn more and we can help you with that. But also, let's have a look at this. We've got a 61.8% Fibonacci level back in and around that region as well. So we've got a confluence of events. And as many of you will know, I trade by checklists, and it's to increase my probability of a successful outcome. It's just giving me an edge in the market, and it's layering things one on top of the other. Right now, what we're seeing is a fantastic, in fact, layering of Bitcoin back into that cradle zone. So Bitcoin's looking really, really, really good. What about the rest of the market? Well, let's have a look. There's a lot of trades that were short out there this week. A lot of guys in the community and girls making very good gains from the markets. Again, here's Ethereum, just showing it to you on the daily. This support when broken. This is again just technical analysis. We're learning to read charts. The break of this support was very significant. We did see a decline of 12.5% on the day of the break, and from the break to the low, we saw a decline of nearly 20% just by breaking a simple level of support. And what I'm doing now with Ethereum is I am looking for short opportunities on timeframes such as the 12-hour. I pull back into this cradle zone. I will look then at trading checklist to make sure it fits all the ticks. I'll tick all the boxes. If I get the trade, I will take the trade. So Ethereum looking for shorts. Binance looking for shorts. Again, lower high pushing down. Way back in. Look at the city here. Look at this trend. Back in, away, back in, away. I'm waiting for that opportunity back into this zone here. As far as the weekly goes on Binance, hasn't been doing a great deal for a little bit of time. Okay, it's a bit choppy still. Same here with Cardano. Very, very choppy. However, I am more than willing to be trading this short. As a matter of fact, I don't raise orders whilst I'm doing a scan, but that is looking a little bit attractive right now on Cardano. Next up is Doge. Have a look. We got this again, the same thing. It's moving around, looking for the best time frame to fit, the best trend and what time frame that is. This is very nice on the 8-hour. The weekly as well on Doge. Well, it certainly has had a significant pullback from its very big meme coin pump earlier, throughout 2024. Onto Solana next, bleeding quite substantially. You know, it really is going down. It's as simple as that. It looks like maybe a bit of support running through here. We have pulled back into that support. Let's look at that on a daily time frame, because look, that's exactly where we're back to right now. Will I find a trade? Well, I'll be looking, and this is exactly what I'm looking for. A bearish candle off of this level would certainly be something that I'd be very keen on to short the market. You don't need a market to just go up to make money, guys. You can make money when the market falls. You can make money when the market goes up. When you can do both, and you can manage your emotions, and you can manage your risk, and you can manage, how you go about raising, finding the trades through a checklist. It just opens up opportunity outside of, market must go up. If the market doesn't go up, we still do well. If we call the right trade, if we pick the right times to short, if the market falls, we do very well. And that's what trading is there for. XRP right now on the 8 here as well. Very nice momentum down. It's very good momentum to the downside. Again, looking at that 8, looking at that 12 for opportunity. Shorting again. Tron, very, very messy at the moment. Not worth talking about really. Link, also waiting for that pullback, possibly into $12 would be really, really nice. The weekly, as you can see right here, it has been brutal lower high to lows. It continues to decline as it heads down and looks to break $10. That round number right there on Link being its floor, its support so far. AVAX up next, and you'll see here on AVAX, again, a beautiful trend and ability of a short as we sit up here in this cradle zone. It works whether you're long or whether you're in an uptrend or a downtrend. Now, furthermore, throughout this week, we did see Bitcoin's dominance increase. If I go to the weekly time frame now, you will see that it was up 1.78%. Currently, it's sitting at 63.5% of the total market cap, which is the next chart I'm looking at, and you can see the total market cap, having set a high here and lower low, is now in a weekly downtrend. It is not looking pretty there for the total market cap. But once again, we jump out to the monthly, it's still back in this moving average cradle zone. So again, we use the charts to find perspective. The monthly on Bitcoin is still very, very strong. It feels painful when you look at these moves, when you're frames, it feels dramatic. This candle is, whoa, it's 0.5%. But when you look at the bigger picture, you can relax yourself. The trend is still there on Bitcoin. And guess what it is? It is still upward momentum. It is still in an uptrend. You can remove the emotion by having insights into what it is that you're looking at. To be able to do something as simple as reading a chart, I say it's simple because it can be simple. That sort of thing is going to empower you to make better decisions. It's going to keep you calm. And if you learn to trade with me, or anyone for that matter, you can also make money as the market falls, which you can then roll back into buying opportunities like I'm seeing right now on Bitcoin. Anyway, that is the market wrap for the week of the 8th of April. I hope you've had a fantastic week. If you are feeling a little bit down, if you are feeling a little bit beaten up, a bit worried, a bit concerned, hey guys, it's only a market, it's only money. All right, it's okay. It's okay. Speak to your mates, get outside, do the things you love, because it's just a market. Sometimes just disconnecting can help you to re-engage with your spirit, the goodness inside of you, and to remind yourself that there's a hell of a lot more than just staring at charts. Okay, have a great day, and I hope you're well. Cheers, guys. Bye for now.